Hello everybody and welcome back to another Crypto Jet video where today we will be talking about HOLOCHAIN or HOT. Now, before we get right into it, please do not hesitate to leave a like, comment down below or question down below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and let's move straight into the video. 0.02, it's sitting at 2 cents right now at the moment. The market cap is at $4 billion, volume sitting above $1 billion, and circulating supply at around $170 billion. Now, their max supply is uncapped, meaning they're allowing room for countering inflation in the future and allowing for good scalability of the coin. Let's do a quick rundown of the website. So what exactly is HOLOCHAIN? It's an alternative network to the blockchain that gives developers a framework for building decentralized applications. So it's pretty much what blockchain is, and all of these projects built on blockchain, but it's a huge competitor and sort of a substitute to the system because it works a little bit differently. Now, they have a lot of, these guys don't really invest a lot into marketing. However, a lot of big projects have already covered them, such as Forbes, Cointelegraph, WEF, and more. You see some testimonials on the website itself. Now, why is this a very good substitute to the traditional blockchain technology? It's moving the whole infrastructure from a data-dependent system to an agent-centric system. So there is more focus on you as a person holding your own data than the data itself. So they're trying to make sort of a more humanized internet platform. Now, this is very good because by avoiding these data-dependent systems, it doesn't have to use the same system as blockchain does, and it actually avoids having to have global consensus for every transaction. So in a traditional blockchain network, you will have every single node, right? Every node is like a little piece of the network, and every node has to verify their own transaction and transactions on the whole entire network in order to perform a transaction. Now, this causes huge scalability problems in every single cryptocurrency, which is why you may see that transaction fees are high or the transaction speeds are very low. So how does HOLOCHAIN actually counter that? They simply just don't use this. They don't use this bottleneck sort of in the system. They don't require every node to verify every single transaction on the network. Instead, they just verify their own transactions. Now, they have very versatile solutions. It's a peer-to-peer network, completely decentralized and an agent-centric system. Their goal is to create a more human internet. Additionally, they're very, very, how do you say this, environmentally friendly, because traditional proof-of-work blockchains such as Bitcoin use a lot of energy through mining and through completing transactions. It's simple electricity or whatever, but it still is the use of energy. HOLOCHAIN, on the other hand, is quite green, seeing that every single transaction uses way less power because the nodes aren't required to verify the whole entire network. So it's creating a system for people to own their own data, control their identity, connect applications, pretty much very similar to the traditional blockchain network. However, it has its upsides, it has its downsides: governance, collaboration, marketing, promotions, applications, supply chain. A lot of interesting stuff that you can actually build here. There is a lot of stuff on the website that can help you if you want to actually develop something on their platform. But for now, I think that is a pretty solid rundown of the platform. Here you can see how it actually works, a bit more detailed, the technology, how it actually functions, which is a bit too complicated to cover right now, and it's a story for another day. So let's move straight on to the technicals. So a quick rundown of the technicals. We can see the coin, HOLOCHAIN, having a very nice sustained growth since the beginning of 2021. Very nice sort of, you can see a little move and then a consolidation, then a little move, then a consolidation, and the same thing's happening with more and more volume coming in with these moves. The more volume, the more volatility. You can actually see by the size of the candles. If they're not tiny candles like these, there is obviously more pressure on the market to buy, sell, and speculate, pretty much. So something that I plotted here, a few interesting zones. This is a very important one. We can see it was a resistance, a very strong resistance in the past, but the more times something actually hits into a resistance, the more times it will, the more likely it is to actually break, which happened at this point, after which the price came down, hit this newly formed level of support, acted as resistance in the past. This is around the 1 cent mark, probably a psychological level for traders, especially people who were holding before it was even at 1 cent, when it was at very, very, very small digits. Now, something very interesting is that we are following the 50 period moving average. You can see the coin bouncing off of it right here. Boom. You can see it bouncing off of it again, and a little retracement because we really had a run for an all-time high. The coin has retraced back into this level, crossing through the 50 period moving average, however going right back above it after hitting this zone of support, which coincides directly with the 50% Fibonacci level. Now this is something expected because, as we can see, we have enormous bullish pressure, and then we have a very, very nice retracement. We can see a huge candle simply denying price back from this level down here. So this was a very expected bounce back up. Now we will see what this coin is going to do in the future, but something that I can predict for it is a little retracement, potentially back into this zone right here, even into this level of support, a little retracement, and then a move aiming for a new all-time high. Because this project is gaining traction, it's like blockchain as a whole, but built differently and built more efficiently. Now it has its downsides, obviously. Not as many people use it as they use blockchain. However, both technologies are good, and in my opinion, both technologies have a good place in the future because they're both upgrading the way we actually spend our everyday lives. They're both gonna very nicely affect the way that we live in the future through payments, through abilities, through applications, and etc. Now, something that I would like to draw, just a little drawing. We could expect a little retracement, but then not even into this zone. We could just have a little sort of 60 Fibonacci retracement on a smaller scale, somewhere around here. Little retracement back into there, and then a further continuation of this uptrend, breaking of the all-time high, and then soaring up to new highs. Now we will find very, very big resistance in this area of around 3 cents, because it was the previous all-time high. People will be keen to take profits at this area, perhaps even down a bit below. So we should be careful, but in case it breaks above, it will establish a new level of support at that area and then continue going upwards. In the other scenario, the coin could always experience, I always say this, but if Bitcoin starts correcting a bit too much, coins will follow, and potentially, depending on how linked this coin's movement is to Bitcoin actually, but we could analyze that in another video, we could see a further further down move potentially into this zone before retracing back up. Now that should be it for today. Please leave a question if you want to know a bit more about how I do my technicals, how we actually analyze these coins, and what I think good projects are, because I have a lot of good opinions, in my opinion. Thank you guys for joining in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.